Nice to see you. Today, I'm going to tell you about the original voice of Siri. So, you probably have Siris on your iPhone, Apples, but do you know who Siris? You might thought that they're just AIs, but here's the real story about it. So here's the original story. So Siri is Susan. So let's find out who is she. People in America. Let's find out. Okay? Let's start. Susan Bethany is also the original. So here's Susan Bethany, and she has the voice actor and the original voice of Siri. You're watching people in America, of course. For a really long time in her life, she really doesn't know what she wanted to do when she started working in clubs, singing and playing. And one day, as far as that thing that goes, of course, so kind of like there's six of her people, and she was like, it was like one day, as long as she could remember, it was like the voice actor, it was like an accident. The voice actor wasn't there to read the copy on the spot, so the owner of the studio was like, Susan, you don't have an accent. Come over here and read the copy. And she was like, oh, dingo dango, like that. So she got a voice coach and a talented agent, and she has been doing it ever since for a while. So she was Tilly, and all the time, and I was Tilly, the all-time teller, and it was like, I'm Tilly, the all-time teller. I work from First National Bank, and this was all of a second for success. ATM, the U.S. Yeah, she did the ordinary ones. So Siri appeared on October the 4th in 2011, and she didn't know anything about it until a fellow actor emailed her and says, hey, we're playing around with this new iPhone app, and isn't this you? And she was like, oh, really? So she went to the Apple app and listened. So she was like, oh my. On the one hand, I thought, wow, she's basically the new voice of the Apple. So that's pretty cool. But in fact, Perry had an attitude without knowing that really took me like aback. And it took her 2 whole years to reveal that I'm Siri, of course, and it would like affect my career. And lots of people are not on the business. They were like, oh, "You're Siri? That's so cool, so great." But people in the business, they were like, "They're Siri." So maybe you can hear below Siri's voice, and it's like anyone could get recognized as one of the particular things as Siri. So she has like 1 or 10 top books like that. Of course, you could ask everything you want there, of course. So Siri was a lesson life for her because she had to face the certain consequences too, and that in fact she was basically involved, and she was a private person, and she was like, I want to be this person that all people devise all over words. So she accepted and figured out a way to spin it into a positive yourself, which she has done with all her new career. And she had no idea, like, so with everything in your lives. You know, Siri has a big positive and a big negative, but she has no way of measuring the negative. Like, when she first seen Siri, she was like she didn't know anything yet, but when this related on the Siri, on the other hand, she had done auditions with Siri's voice, like not gotten the first 2 items of Siri's. She really has a bit of an attitude. So the first time she talked to it, she was like, hi Siri, how are you? You know what are you doing? And she goes like, I'm talking to you. I think Siri would like to make an appearance and say a couple of things anyways. Always face your face with your fears. Always keep your faith, but most of all is always have a sense of humor. LOL. That's all I want to say, guys. So now you know the real story behind Siri. So whenever you watch Siri, why don't you ask her? Why don't you ask that? Are you Susan? Like that, maybe. Okay, so that's all I want to say. Bye, guys.